Rager coming to you from the Meadowbrook Trail in Evergreen, Colorado. It's one of those alternate days in Colorado. Yesterday was warm and sunny. Today it's been cloudy and snowy, and tomorrow it's supposed to be warm and sunny again. So welcome to spring in Colorado. Got back late last night from a trip to the West Coast, California, where I had the great fortune to spend the day yesterday with a group of amazing sales leaders. And that on top of last week, I was in Western Pennsylvania with another group of amazing sales leaders. And what I really loved about both of these groups is their elephants were definitely thirsty. They were really engaged in wanting to take a deeper dive into understanding what it takes to create meaningful change, not only in ourselves, but in others, and in their case, their teams. And, it's funny, as a consultant, I'm often brought in to share kind of what I've learned, very often the hard way, by getting my butt kicked, but what I've learned is key in what works to actually create behavior change, to actually manifest the success that we're trying to achieve. And what happens, as I've mentioned in other videos, is very often I'm in the position sharing things while at the same time, without realizing it, I'm doing the very opposite of what I'm, kind of sharing with people is necessary to create the success that we want to create. And this happened to me over the last couple of weeks, and began last week in Western Maryland, where, what often happens is our elephant, riding the path of its comfort zone, distracts the rider from paying attention to what's going on and how what's going on actually impacts what the rider is trying to accomplish. The elephant is a great distractor. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the elephant and the rider, I recommend you go back to the introduction, which is the first video in this series, where I give a brief explanation of that. One of the things the elephant does is it controls where the rider pays attention. And so what'll happen is very often the elephant distracts the rider from paying attention to the fact that the elephant is engaging in programming habits of thought, feeling, and action that are the old comfort zone and are in direct conflict with what the rider is trying to intentionally manifest. And this happened to me last week because I've shared with you in previous videos, this year I'm intending to manifest some significant changes in my business. And these changes take certain behaviors, certain beliefs, certain thought processes. And it's not going to happen overnight. And so after starting the year off really strong, with my move in the end of February into March, things kind of got a little hectic, a little crazy. And I still did a pretty good job, but for whatever reason, last week with the travel, I got distracted from keeping my thoughts, my feelings, and my actions in alignment with what I want to manifest this year. And so in talking with the sales leaders last week and yesterday, and on today's hike, it was really kind of gelling in my mind how important self-awareness is. And what self-awareness is, very simply, is your rider, your conscious mind, paying attention to what we're thinking, what we're feeling, and what we're doing. And asking ourselves, is what we're thinking, what we're feeling, what we're doing, is that in alignment with what we're intending to achieve, intending to manifest? And very often, it's not. But very often, our rider's not paying attention, and the elephant is going off along its way, and we go down this path of thinking, feeling, and doing things that are not in alignment with what we're intending to manifest. And so, one of the things we were talking about, especially yesterday, was about how do you create and maintain awareness so that the rider has a true understanding of what's really going on in terms of thoughts, feelings, and actions, and a true appreciation for whether or not they're in alignment with what we intend to manifest, what we intend to achieve for success. And one of the key things in all of this, and I've mentioned this in previous videos, is willpower. We have to really be motivated enough to have the willpower that drives our rider to pay attention. And it's going to drift. I mean, the elephant is a master at distracting the rider. And we've got to be attuned to that so that when it happens, we realize it and we draw our attention back. And so one of the ways to do this, I found, is to write an intention out in terms of what we intend to do, that we intend to pay attention to our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions on a constant basis to make sure that they're in alignment with what we want to achieve. Now, one of the challenges is it's very difficult to do this on our own. So what I have found to be essential is to engage the help of another person that you bring into your process. And you ask them to be there for you, to remind you periodically to self-check. Because self-awareness is extremely important. So much so that back in ancient Greece, oh, there's a deer up ahead on the trail, beautiful. Back in ancient Greece, in the time of the great philosophers, one of the driving sayings or one of the driving philosophies that they taught was, above all else, know thyself. And there's some theories that say the reason we're alive is to learn the truth about ourselves and know ourselves. And I take that a step further. And not only do I need to know myself, but as much as possible in a moment-by-moment situation, I need to be aware of myself. What are my thoughts? What are my feelings? What are my actions? Are they in alignment with what I'm intending to do? And very often, they're not. And that's what I got caught up in last week. And so I was fortunate that it dawned on me on my own driving back to the airport. And I was able to self-correct and go into this week with my thoughts, feelings, and actions much more in alignment with where I want to go this year. So I just wanted to share that with you because, you know, this process of creating meaningful change is very often a 2 steps forward, 1 step back type of a process. And that's okay. As long as we keep moving forward, that's all that matters. So thanks for tuning in. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Look forward to seeing you on future videos. Take care.